So I'm back after however long, I think it's like 6 months or something. I've actually recorded like 3 or 4 videos since then, or rather I should say 3 or 4 attempts. I actually recorded this last night and then realised when I'd finished it that my battery had actually died. So I've been through all of this shit already, and that's kind of why I was just like, just kind of gave up sort of thing. This is like 6 months worth of pickups that I've got kind of around me now, of varying degrees. Some of them are really good, really cool. Others are just like, yeah, pretty good, but some aren't gaming related, as it's quite standard for my channel. But yeah, I mean, I've still been collecting and stuff. I've focused a bit more on certain things, which I'll explain. But I've just been busy. I've just been burnt out as well. I've been away abroad for 2 weeks, which was at the sort of mid to end part of July, and then since then, unfortunately, I haven't actually been to any car boots. Some of these car boot pickups that not even I've actually got, my son's got them for me as like presents and stuff. But yeah, we'll crack on, and apparently Lucy's gonna help me. No, are you gonna help me? No, you gonna help? Oh dear, look at these ears. Right, get down. Good girl. Good girl, baby. Right, okay, so first thing, we'll start off with a gaming thing. I don't even know where I put it now. Right, okay, so I did some swaps with my mate Ben. One of the things that it was a swap slash sale, because I had to give him a bit of money as well. But one of the first things is Kid Chameleon, that's playing on my Mega Drive right now, and it does have a manual, and the car is in great condition, so I was really happy about that. I didn't have that game, so I'm really happy about that. From him I also got a Dreamcast box, and it's not 10 out of 10 condition or anything. I've seen a lot worse. It's slightly bowed, it's been used, you know, it's one of those things. But I didn't have a box. It doesn't have the innards, like polystyrene or cardboard wise. I think it was cardboard. I don't know what it was originally, because I never had one when I was younger. But it does have all of the leaflets and things, so I'm very happy about that. Move that. I did get another game from him as well, but that is within another particular pile that I'll show in a little bit. Something else that I was going to show was a present from one of my best friends, or 2 presents actually. A long time ago, he got me a stress controller. He says I'm always stressed, and he bought it as a bit of a joke for me. So yeah, but it's an official PlayStation stress controller. It's actually the PS5 version. And he also got me a very cool comic. I don't know if anybody knows the rapper Mac Miller, or what your opinion on him is, but he's one of my favourite all-time rappers, and this is kind of like the not novelisation, but like the comic equivalent of a music video. So it's an actual music video of the song Self Care, and there's a guy on Instagram that sells these apparently, does them for all different artists, and because Mac Miller is one of my favourites, he got this for me as a present. So put that back in there before I forget. Paranoid in case it bends or anything. Put that down here. So I'm going to mix and match with some stuff, because it's just all scattered everywhere, and I usually sort out an order or some sort of vague order, but I kind of haven't really done that today because I just can't really be arsed. Many months ago, I think it was actually February, there was the Birmingham, I was going to say Twisted Toy Fair, the Toy Trading Collectors Fair, and I got a few items from there. There's only 2 items that I've actually, because I put a lot of stuff away, you see, so, and I couldn't quite remember half of what I had for pickups wise. I did get some monsters in my pocket, but it's just like, it is what it is, you know. I'm not gonna show them. And there was a Robin figure that I got. I already had one, but this was an upgrade. And a badge that I've put somewhere of the animated version of Penguin from the cartoon series 1992. But the two things of note is I did get some Pogs. This is the original, like the packaging, and also it's got the Pogs inside here in the case. Liam Retroram, he bought this for £10, and his was sealed, and it's actually in better condition than mine. Mine is in questionable condition. However, mine cost the exact same amount, so I was very happy. And it just so happens as well that this was actually on the stall next to his. So I was really happy to get this. Pogs is something that I would like to collect for, but it's extremely vast. It's a bit like Pokemon cards. It's very, very vast. So it's like, I try and buy them when I come across them, but not something that I'm actually trying to seek out. I've got enough of that with monsters in my pocket. I also got this from there as well, Kongman. Now this actually has a sticker on it for £40, which is around here somewhere there. And this was actually from Dana, Hidden Chest Gaming, and he had two of them. One of them he says was in slightly better condition than the other, but he did say that it'd been cleaned up and everything. And I offered him 35, and he said yes. So he did me a very nice deal on this. This was right at the end of the day as well. So I was pretty much all spent up apart from that, and I did say that to him, and he looked after me. It was very nice of him to do that. I also played it as well and completed it, and Max has played it and completed it as well. From a car boot a long time ago, it was many months ago. Right, okay, one of the things is going to be, I'm not going to go get it. A guy was selling some PlayStation games, and he only had 3 PS2 games randomly in a box that Max actually spotted for me, and it was Puyo Pop Fever, Kingdom Hearts. I had Kingdom Hearts 2. I didn't actually really like the first one, and then the second one I loved when I played it, and I own it, and I have the manual for it as well, the guide, sorry, the strategy guide. But with this, I didn't really get on with it, but obviously it was in the deal as well, and I thought, well, I don't have it, I'll give it another try. And also Nickelodeon Rocket Power Beach Bandits, and all of these three all have the manuals. The discs are in great condition, and it was £5 for all three. And he said himself, he says, oh, I'd do the lot for £5, and that's a good deal. I was like, to be fair, it is a good deal. I already had Puyo Pop. I've since sold that because mine didn't have a manual, and the box was not in great condition. What else do I have? Max had got me some books from a car boot that he went with my mum. Actually, that's one of the best things ever, is when you stay in bed on a Sunday and somebody rings you and says, oh, do you want this? Or they come back and say, I got you this, and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even need to go up. He got me a Beezer, which I've never collected Beezer, but it was with a Beano. And I used to have this Beano, so I have very fond memories of this Beano. I did have loads of them originally, but I then got rid of them. I did get rid of them years ago. But he said it cost him like 50p each or something like that. I was like, you know, I'm very grateful. Although the Beezer, not a fan. He also got me a Guinness World Records 2015 Game Edition, and also the 2020 edition as well. I've not looked through them yet. Got more than enough to look through. But I was very happy to get some nice little updates. What else have you got? He also got me Crash Bandicoot It's About Time, like flip pad thing. And a Mario and a Luigi. Mario plush, it does actually say World of Nintendo on it as well. It's World of Nintendo Mario, and also the Flower Power Luigi. I actually have the Mario to this, so now I can even it out on my little shelf that I've got. What else? Okay, so we'll do something non-gaming related. but I'll whiz through these. I've got quite a few Blu-rays because that's one thing I've been focusing on as well, is collecting films that I like, because although there's Netflix and things like that, is that they aren't there forever, and I like being able to know that if I wanted to watch something then it's there. But I only try and do it with films that I actually really like. So first one is Turbo Kid, and this is I don't know if anybody's ever watched it. It sounds shit. It's not. It's actually really good. It's Michael Ironside in it as well as the villain, and it takes itself seriously enough that you can believe it. It's like a post-apocalyptic future. In fact, it actually says in a post-apocalyptic future. It's a bit ridiculous, but they do it in such a convincing way that it is something that is tongue-in-cheek, but it is enjoyable and believable. Believable is serious, is what I mean. Turbo Kid is very decent. You Are Not My Mother, one of the better British horror films that I've seen. Kind of a similar vein as Hereditary, like very creepy, very unnerving, very bleak. Very good film. The Sadness. This is a horror film. I don't know if it's Korean. I don't know what somebody say. But either way, this is brutal. It is very brutal. Very similar to 28 Days in a lot of respects, but the zombies are conscious. They know what they're doing, and they talk. So can you really say the word zombies? I don't know. Infected. There we go. It's a great film. And I bought it off a group. It was not on eBay. Wreck. I've got the first Wreck now. I've got the second Wreck as well. I love them both, but I've held out on this because even for like £5 or £6, it was like, why is it not cheaper? And that's what I'll do. I won't buy something as soon as it comes out anymore. I used to do that sort of 10-15 years ago. Not anymore. I don't do that. Psycho 2 on the Arrow edition. I wanted like a special edition of the first film, but there's like 5 or 6 different versions. It's like Halloween, they just keep re-releasing it, and The Exorcist and The Thing and The Evil Dead, they just keep re-releasing them, and I don't know which one to go for. I really like this. I have a soft spot for it, and I think it's actually genuinely a very good film. It also has like a booklet in there that talks about the behind the scenes and things. It's really good. Get Out, it's cost me like £2 from eBay. I really like it. Clerks 3, hadn't watched it. Really like the first two. Probably the second one a little bit more than the first one, because they ramp up the humour with Tarantino-esque dialogue. But with this one, it ever so slightly veered from missing them. Slightly veered from hitting the mark for me. And I've always hated Dante. He's a fucking twat. I've always hated him. X. This is the film that came out before the film Pearl, and it's X as in X-rated. They go to make a porn film, and then they end up unwittingly finding themselves in basically a killer's backyard. So it's a very good film, that is. Very much liked it. I want to see Pearl as well. The Way Back. This was from, I just realised I've not got another one here. This was from a car boot a long while ago, probably about 2 months ago, and this was sealed, and also I got 12 Monkeys from the guy, and he sold me them both for £1.50, and this is a fucking great film. Tenet, never watched it, bought it, cost me like £2. It's watchable, it's good, but I don't know if I'd watch it again. I'm not too sure. The effects are amazing, the concept behind it is amazing. I think I might give it another watch, because apparently if you watch it again you enjoy it a lot more, but I don't know. Spider-Man Homecoming, 4K edition. I mean, what can you say? It's the first Spider-Man. I've got the first and the third now of the Tom Holland series. Alien Nation, hadn't watched this since I had it on video, since I was a kid, and yeah, it's Alien Nation. Deadpool 2, I had the first one steelbook, have the first one steelbook, and this one is a sealed steelbook, and this cost me like £7 on eBay. So yeah, there you go. Let's get rid of these. What else do we have? We have got, oh, in fact, another film. It's a DVD, but they don't seem to have it on Blu-ray. It's a film called The Ritual. It's a very bleak, very, very good British horror film. Again, very good British horror film. And I wanted to watch it again, and it was on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore, but if you haven't seen it, I would honestly highly recommend it. Something from a while ago, when I was at the Birmingham Toy Trains Collectors Fair, I did actually buy this from my friend Eddie. He sold me basically all of these that you can see, all of these Japanese Sega Saturn games. This was across 4 different purchases that he sold me all of these games. And what else? That's like, go on then, sell me Space Invaders. He sold it to me for cheaper than that, but thank you very much, Eddie. Also has like this spine card as well. Also, I said to him, like, go on then, there's a game that I wanted off him, and I said, what's the game with the hammer? And he was like, and he knew what I meant as well, because I'd asked him about it before, and he said, oh, that's such and such, such and such. And I always forget the name. I have to look on the spine to see what the game is. And he says, go on then, I'll sell it to you for a good deal. And he did. I'm not going to say the price that he gave it to me for, but the game is Praikura Daisakusen. If I can be arsed and if I can remember, I'll put some gameplay up here of it. But it's basically, as I describe it, boots on ground, beat 'em up, and sorry, shoot 'em up. I don't know, it's quite hard to explain. Somebody will probably correct me, I'm hoping so. But I said to him, I was like, oh, watch the gameplay, because it looks really good. Like, the girl doesn't fly, not in a plane or anything like that. It's not a traditional like shooting game, but it's not really a beat 'em up either. It's like, it blends them quite well, but you do have to have your wits about you all the time. It's a really good game, but honestly, after the first level, fuck me, it ramps up real quick. It's not an easy game. It's in a really cool like double case, but although it has the spindle, it doesn't have another game, and I don't know what that is. I mean, can somebody tell me why that some games randomly come in these if they don't have 2 discs? I don't really know. But when I bought that off him, he also sent me this at the same time, and these two together of what he was going to charge me, he basically didn't. So he gave me this essentially for free, and I'm very thankful for that. I haven't actually tried this one yet. I've tried pretty much all of the games apart from 2 of them. One of them is Bomberman, and the other one is it's like a Lemmings crossover. It's actually this one. It's Gisun Oyuyos. Basically Tetris and Lemmings combined. Really good, really good looking game, but I just haven't played it yet. So he sent me that, but also from my friend Ben, who I got the Dreamcast box and Kid Chameleon from, sold me this. He got a random job lot, and this was the only Japanese Sega Saturn game that he had in there, and I didn't have it. I was like, give it. And it also happens to be one of the better Virtua Fighter games, apparently. Virtua Fighter Remix. There was a stream many months ago. I was very kindly asked to be part of by James, Bear's Own Game Room. He asked me on there about the Saturn and everything else, and Champion 2D Rob and James were on there as well, and they mentioned that this was the better Virtua Fighter, and I've always kept that in mind because I don't like Virtua Fighter, but I do agree it does look better. What else do we have? We have 2 Goosebumps books. Give Yourself Goosebumps. I don't have any of these. I never had any as a kid, and I didn't particularly want them. I liked just a linear story. I don't know why, because the concept is really good. The Curse of the Creeping Coffin and Attack of the Mutant. I have actually got some more up there, but I can't remember which ones I bought from a car boot, and I can't be asked to get them back out. But this one right here, I don't have. They were presents. This is also from Max. What I'm thinking of doing with it, because it's not official Lucasfilm, it's weird, but it's like really light. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's from originally, but it must be from an original mould or something, because it looks exactly the same. It's not a rip-off. But what I was thinking of doing is, from the first film, what I know as A New Hope, is I've always liked the look that they have when they're on Tatooine, and they've got, you know, obviously they're in the desert and things, and it's like quite worn, and it's they've got like the orange stains from the sand and things. I'm thinking of doing that, but I've got so many fucking things to do all the time that I don't know. One exciting thing I do have is I do have a PS5 now, and I only have a few games. Well, that's not true, I have 6 games, but my friend has had one for a long time, and he's got the digital version, and I've waited and waited and waited, and now I've had the opportunity to get one, and I've got it. So the games that I've got for it are Callisto Protocol. I was slightly disappointed by this game, and I know that people say, one of the things is that people say it's really good, but it's very short. I've played it, and I think it's only okay. I don't know whether I was playing it in the wrong mindset. I do have the New Horizon. I absolutely waxed the first game for everything it had to offer, and I've installed this, but I've not played it yet, and I kind of feel like I want to complete some games before I get to this one. Even I've been playing on some PS4 games and some Saturn games, and I feel like I owe it to myself and owe it to the games I've got to complete some games before I play that, because when I play it, I'm going to play it like the whole thing. Turtles, obviously, you know, I bought it for the arcade game. I actually already have the 2 second best games on this, which is Hyperstone Heist and Turtles in Time. I already have them on their respective consoles. Need for Speed Unbound, this is actually really good. I'm not massively into driving games, but it's nice for a change. Returnal, this is one of the best games I've ever played, and if somebody says, oh, it's shit, or no, it's overrated, or whatever, okay, people are entitled to their opinion. However, the one thing I kind of couldn't grasp is that every time you played it, things changed, but I also thought it was really cool. The more you play it, and the better you get, which is naturally what the game does on purpose, the better you are, the more things that you unlock. Now, people say, oh yeah, but you die and you go back to the beginning and you don't have all your shit. That's not true, because there are things in the game that mean that you can save, technically, like a second chance. There's very much elements of Edge of Tomorrow in there, but also is that there is a story. There is actually a story in there, and I've unlocked a lot of the story. When I didn't have my PS5, I did a lot of share play with my mate, and sometimes he would actually turn on his PlayStation and he wouldn't even be there. He'd say, oh, we're going out now, I'm going out, and I'd play it, share play, and that was back when it was 2 hours. Now it's only an hour, I think. But I absolutely love this game, and I'm nearing the point, I think, of completion. I don't know, because the boss that I'm on at the moment is fucking hard. But Returnal, it's a fucking great game. If you don't like the game, if you played it, comment and say why, and everything else, because I've known people to say, oh, I played it for a few hours and didn't like it and I've not gone back to it. That's where you're going wrong, because you're just getting to the point where you get used to it. Anyway, I'm stop talking about it. And the obligatory COD. You either have COD or FIFA or both. I'm a COD guy, I don't like FIFA at all. Modern Warfare 2, it's a very good Modern Warfare. I'm not amazing at it, but I'm not ultra shit. The campaign's alright, actually. I played on a campaign for Need for Speed as well. And with my PS5, I also have a very nice headset. I've never bought a headset before, I'll never buy one again. This one right here is a 3D Pulse headset. I got it on a very good deal, and it is as it sounds. 3D means that when you play it, so for example COD, if you have somebody running behind you or above you, the headset tells you exactly where it is. It literally feels like that you can hear the sound here, or here, or here. It's really decent. just on hand from Makabu pencil case. It's an original as well. It's not like one of those redoings that they've done. It's a Walker's Crisp salt and vinegar flavour, and I remember at school that people used to have the red one or the blue one, which is cheese and onion. Salt and vinegar. This cost me what, I think it was 20p, 25p. I was like, oh yeah, mate. Because I'm an artiste, because I like to draw and stuff, I have loads of pens and things like that, majority of which I never use or haven't used, and pencil cases are handy. Because I collect books, got a Virginia Andrews book, you'd be like, well, what the fuck am I watching? No, this stems from Flowers in the Attic. That's a really, really good book. A questionable film, but it's quite dark. I have a soft place in my heart for it because I watched it when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I had a TV in my room, and it was on late at night, and I watched it, and I was like, oh my god. I watched it about a year or two ago. I've only ever seen it twice. Watched it when I was a kid and watched it about 2 years ago, and I watched it with my wife, and she was like, what the fuck? It was really shit. I was like, no, it's good. So there's like 6 books in this series or something like that, and I've got book number 4 now. And I got a Big Boss VHS, Korean VHS from Makabu a long time ago. It sounds like I was fucking 15 or something. Many months ago. I've since found out I bought it because of the front cover, because I thought it was quite cool to have a foreign VHS with an actual drawn front cover. But I've since found out that this may have actually been available at the back of a magazine in the late 90s, because I posted it on the group and somebody advised me of that. It is Golden Harvest, a company that originally released his films, or first couple of films I think they were. They also did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well, the first film. I've not watched it. I'm not going to watch it because I don't have a VHS player, but it sits on my shelf. And it cost me like either 50p or £1. So I was quite happy to get that. Oh, I do have a poster of Resident Evil 4 Remake. This was from the shop in Derby. That's where I got my Horizon game. I actually got my Horizon game before I got my PS5, because I've done that before, like with my 3DS. I think I had a Sega Saturn game before I had a Saturn. Some Wii games. I've done it with a couple of consoles. If the deal's good, then I'll get the game if I intend to get the console at some point. Oh, and the last thing, I went to go see Spider-Man on the opening night. This shows how old, you know, this is in the making as well. That this video is in the making. They had some collectible tickets of all the Spider-Men that are in the film. And if you've not seen the film, it's fucking great. It's a great film. But Max picked up all these for me. I was going to go for them, but he'd already grabbed some for me because I knew that you'd want them, and they're double-sided as well. So he got me 2 sets because they're double-sided. And that's it, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so I'm going to be glad to get all this shit on the shelves and get it all sorted. I've been having a ever so slight rearrangement in my room. The things have kind of stayed the same as where they are because I like where they are. If I did another game room tour right now, you'd be like, oh, I kind of feel like I've seen this before. However, I have been selling stuff to try and focus more, like, because I do want to get some more Japanese Sega Saturn games, and now I also want to get some PS5 games as well. What can I do for you? This is Ellie. What can I do for you, Ellie? I finished the video now, so I can leave for all you want. Right, so, and that's it, guys. So I will see you hopefully not in 6 months, but a bit sooner than that. So